you still are on the side of the people who are canceling you.
You keep saying you're not talking about sides, but then you keep saying you're on a side. If I were to start to change the way that I act just because somebody on my side is attacking me or somebody on the other side is attacking me, all that means at the end of the day is that I'm just a reactionary. The goal for me is to show people that even if there are people trying to tear you down, even if there are people trying to with you, even if there are people that are insane, that doesn't mean that you can't maintain some level of moral consistency. That doesn't mean you can't maintain some consistency throughout your beliefs. There are times where it sucks for sure, but like you're not just supposed to take the easy out every single time you feel some pressure on the other end.
Rather than easy out. And you're not, none of you, no part of you is radicalized that the people on your side are trying to get
because people on the right do it too. People in Florida, look at the DeSantis bill that everybody passed, that everybody was so excited about. Oh my God, we can't bring up gay or whatever in classrooms. Conservatives do it again on the other end too. We're scared of trans people talking to our kids because they're all groomers. Look, not every trans kid or trans person wants to groom your child. That's insane. Nobody actually believes in this at the end of the day. There are some, I do, and that's why I fight for what I do. That's why I don't want to change my beliefs and pretend that people on the right care about freedom of speech more than people on the left do. Yeah, people on the left today have more of the cultural power, but back in the days when conservatives ran shit, I don't want to see gay people or trans people in movies or on TV. They talk all the time about how that is evil and corrupting society. Back then, they would try to cancel you if you were a guy that wore an earring and you weren't black. Okay. This is why I want to do streams where we keep revisiting like our core values. I'm not going to let people that cancel me change my views. I'm not going to be right wing. I'm not conservative. Like, I still believe in massive redistribution of wealth. I still believe in socialized healthcare. I still think Trump is a fucking lunatic. I still think we need more responsible foreign policy. That doesn't mean abdicating our allies or abandoning all of the theaters that we have open. Like, I'm still a huge fan of like open borders. I still like multilateral trade. Like, I'm not just because people.
How you doing from the Twitter ban?
I'm good. It's I'm technically always like ban evading on the account.
What was the first thing you got banned for? Because like right now I'm not doing that too. I'm also not ban evading on Twitter. Sneako Clips is not me on Twitter. At Sneako Clips, that's not my account. But yeah, what did you get banned for initially?
My how do I do the thing? Oh, it's this. The current permaban that I have on my account was because when I was fighting with, what is this? How does this work? I was fighting with a bunch of like alt-righters a long time ago, and I had this. It was a banging tweet. It was a tweet of like some Disney Channel fucking like 3 or 4 people like in the background, and then like it was some, I think it was like a background or whatever, and then on the front there were like 3 different alt-righters, which are like these kind of like white supremacist people that I was arguing with.
I know what alt-right is, but thank you for mansplaining.
Yeah. And why is my shit getting so f***ed? Sorry. I was arguing with them, and then I tweeted out that, wow, the new alt-right is like more diverse than a Disney Channel original movie or something. And that tweet got spam reported and flagged for inciting hatred against racial groups. And that's like an ultra perma ban. Like you're inciting violence against different races of people.
Who were you inciting shit against?
Probably because I was bringing up the races of the people.
Oh, okay.
That's like
you're one of the good ones though.
One of the good which ones?
You're one of the good white people. You're not racist.
Oh, thanks. I try not to be. Depends on the race, okay. I guess.
Let me add Myron. It's pretty funny that you're jumping right from Abba to Myron right now, but I'm not going to go bring that up when I add him to the call.
Okay, that's good. Wait, I forget. Are these guys like mortal enemies, or do they just not like each other?
You can... yeah. I don't think they get along. I thought you would know better than me. You talk to Abba all the time.
Well, yeah, they seem like they don't like each other, but like usually people aren't going to say if they like hate somebody, right? Usually they'll just be like, oh yeah, like we're not cool or whatever.
Feds. I'm going to call it 2 feds at once. How does it feel? Have you made it to the government before? Have you made it to the Senate?
I might have in some clip. I'm not sure.
Well, you don't forget that.
I don't know. It's a Senate. It's like a Senate hearing thing. Okay, it's not like I'm being brought up in front of the fucking president.
Are you really trying to minimize the fact that they played our panel, in the Senate committee? Okay. You don't think you're just like, oh, it's not the president.
I'm sorry. Is that bothering you? It was actually a really fucking big deal, and I'm so proud.
It's not proud. That doesn't ring bells in your head. Oh no, the feds are watching. Probably the stream if they're going to play it in the Senate right now. If they're highlighting it as dangerous content, that's a domestic threat. If a senator of Michigan and also the chair of Homeland Security is saying that this is dangerous content and like is inciting terrorism and violence, you're not like, oh, you're just going to keep gaming?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
I have an opinion or something. It's something, Destiny.
What probably happened was they are talking a lot about misinformation and people getting radicalized online. Ever since somebody correct me if I'm wrong in chat, but I'm pretty sure ever since, do you know what Cambridge Analytica is or no?
No.
It was like a huge thing that involved Facebook and like our information and election security and a whole. It was just a huge thing. But I'm pretty sure after Cambridge Analytica, I think Congress started to take a much closer and more interested look at what was going on social media online. And once that happened, now every now and then the Zuck and these people are going in front of Congress trying to say like, well, what are you doing to make sure that our online area is safe? What are you doing to make sure that, you know, Russians aren't hacking your shit and blah, blah, blah. And in doing that, they try to make a whole bunch of concessions to Congress so that Congress doesn't come down on them and like go hardcore fucking regulatory on them.
It was a senator.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is these guys probably get like your head has been cut off. I know it's because he's trying to add Myron to the call. He hasn't yet. It'll fix itself when he adds the other guy.
Try to add him because it's not working for me. I don't know what happened.
He needs to pick up the fucking call.
Look, you're getting triggered right now. This is energy is what you need to direct towards the government instead of this Discord.
Well, I doubt those guys probably just, there's some random kids that like whose job is to go through like a bunch of shit online and put together some staffers like, okay, well, here are a few clips of like extremists talking online.
See, chat, like we are literally being played in front of the Senate committee from the chairman of Homeland Security. You're like, it's probably just some nerd. How do you like look past all of this? I'm
not looking past it. It's some shit, but I mean, like, this is like
justify all of it. You're like, it's not a big deal that our stream panels being played in front of the government.
I'm not justifying it. What I'm saying is that, like, yeah, they were looking out for like extremism and all that shit online. Like, dude, there have been like people that are way smaller than me that have given like full. Who was it? Diamond and Silk? Those two ladies went on. They give like a full speech in front of fucking Congress about like being censored and shit online and stuff. Like, they've been talking about this shit for a while.
How do I add him? How do I add?
He's added already. He just needs to click the call button to join. Like, he's in the call.
He's such a boomer, bro. I want to talk to two feds because he was actually part of Homeland Security. This was his boss, right? Technically, top of the food chain.
Bro, I don't know how all these fucking agencies are put together. I don't know who's boss.
You see how? Yeah, you know.
Is the chairman of Homeland Security the boss of like, I don't know.
I thought you would know out of anybody.
Why would I know? I never worked at Homeland Security that you know of.
Really? Huh. Can we play the clip for chat? So if they don't, you already reacted to it on stream?
I don't think I watched it on stream, no.
You didn't even play it. You didn't even play you in front of the Senate. You're
I wanted to save. Well, right now we're not political. Right now we're drama Andes. So.
Okay. What about getting banned on Twitter? Like, can you explain to me what happened? Did you get radicalized at all by that?
No, I've been permabanned on Twitter for a long time.
Well, this ban.
No, I knew it was coming. That's part of our Twitter is like one of the first. It's like a frontline warrior. It's the first to fall anytime we're in some big conflict. That's just how it goes.
My chat's calling you a bot. But can you explain, like, what do they mass report you for?
Usually just spam on anything. They're trying to get Twitter to notice that it's like a ban evading account. So they just spam report until eventually somebody at Twitter safety notices and they're like, oh, you're not supposed to be here.
I want to get Myron in here, bro, like to really get some details about Homeland Security. Yo, who's that SDL dude? That dude that probably got me banned on Twitter. The socialist fucking weirdo behind the screen.
On left, yeah.
You know what's the lore behind that?
He's generally a pretty cool dude. He's like pretty smart. He actually started a lot of like internet memes, but he's like obviously he's a pretty far left dude, so he's big on that like deplatforming stuff. Pretty
cool dude to get me banned and someone that I don't even know who that is.
Well, that's what they turn into. It's the ultimate fate of any left-leaning person on the internet is to become a deplatformer.
You get the same treatment as all the red pill guys, like Jordan
Peterson. That's pretty shit, huh?
Jordan Peterson gets banned. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna come to the good side soon. Jordan Peterson got banned on Twitter. I'm banned on Twitter. You're getting played in front of the government with me and Fuentes. Very soon. But how do you not get radicalized by that? The fact that you see all the people on your side go flip into deplatforming free speech bullshit, like free speech is bad bullshit, hate speech promotion, everything that the left is promoting, and even the senator who played my clip is a Democrat. They're completely against freedom of speech, and you're the opposite. You're not a liberal because you believe in free speech. You believe in platforming anybody. You believe in talking and having conversations, which is completely against the current liberal ideology.
There's a quote, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's essentially like, just because one side errs in error, does that not mean that the other side can't possibly err in the other direction just as much, or something like that. I need to memorize this quote.
Basically, you're just justifying it more and more.
Is that what you took from that?
Yeah. I knew it was going to be like this too before this call. I'm like, what is Destiny thinking right now? He's going to say it's not a big deal. He's going to not care that they're calling us domestic terrorists for having open dialogue. Basically, Destiny, we care more about free speech than the government now. We care more about the Constitution than the Senate. They want to ban this. They want to hide this content, and you are very open to have open dialogue and talk to people from the other side. Your fans like it when you de-radicalize people. The government just wants to shut us up.
The quote was, so somebody says you'll be justifying the Inquisition in a moment. And the response is, why? Because the Middle Ages erred in one direction. Does it follow that there is no error in the opposite direction? I think people make this mistake where they see people acting crazy on one side, and on the left, they certainly do. Before it was the right, they would as well. Just because people see somebody make big mistakes, they instantly assume that the opposite movement must be correct. But that doesn't logically follow. There can be crazy people everywhere. Like,
I'm not saying that the opposite is correct, but I'm saying...
Well, but that's what you're saying. You're saying, like, aren't you red pill? No, why would my side being radical change my beliefs? It would just make me choose my friends differently, right?
I don't want you to think of it in terms of sides, but...
Well, that's how you're presenting it. You're saying, like, join us. I'm not joining anybody. My beliefs aren't going to change because there's a bunch of fucking lunatics that are occupying a similar political area as me. I'll just write them off as lunatics.
Lunatic behavior is just common for liberals now. It's just common to not even want to have a conversation. They cannot have debate. They're not even capable of it. They completely operate over feelings.
Yeah, I think a lot of them do. I don't disagree.
All of them do. And so my point is that I'm not trying to make you think of it as sides. I'm trying to say that the truth probably lies in the middle. The truth is probably somewhere. It's not red pill or blue pill. It's somewhere in the middle. We need neutrality. But I'm saying join the good side of like the red pill of this side to offset all the...
I don't think the red pill is the good side. I think the red pill says a lot of crazy shit on their side. I don't want to be lumped in with that. Right? So
but you want to be lumped in with people trying to deplatform and cancel and government bots saying that we're terrorists?
No, so I do my own thing. I'm over here. I speak about the things that I feel are important.
Yeah, but you can only do your own thing as long as it's possible. You were banned on Twitch, you were banned on Twitter, and you still just like, I don't care.
Who said I don't care? It obviously sucks.
You don't care. You're just like, you're like, I'm just gonna keep living my life. You're not. There's no change in your ideology. You're not waking up to anything. You're not being radicalized at all. You've not changed your perspective at all. You still call yourself a liberal. You've been banned. You've gotten the same treatment as all the people like me, and you still are on the side of the people who are canceling you.
You keep saying this. You keep saying you're not talking about sides, but then you keep saying you're on a side, you're on a side, you're on a side. Okay? So for me, where I'm at in my life and for the things that I believe are important, okay, I have a particular set of beliefs, okay? I have to have the ability to endure from any side that attacks me, but the important part of that endurance is to show that you can maintain some level of consistency with your beliefs, regardless of other people trying to tear those down or people trying to change the way that you act. If I were to start to change the way that I act just because somebody on my side is attacking me or somebody on the other side is attacking me, all that means at the end of the day is that I'm just a reactionary. That's not what I'm trying to put out in the world, right? The goal for me is to show people that, hold on. The goal for me is to show people that even if there are people trying to tear you down, even if there are people trying to with you, even if there are people that are insane, that doesn't mean that you can't maintain some level of moral consistency. That doesn't mean you can't maintain some consistency throughout your beliefs. Yeah, there are times where it sucks for sure, but like you're not just supposed to take the easy out every single time you feel some pressure on the other end.
Rather than easy out.
The easy out right now would be for me to just say like, wow, progressives are cocked. Here I am, ultra red pill. Hey guys, I'm having my 57th panel today with 7 other red pill guys. We're going to talk about how horrible cancel culture is. Hey guys, wasn't it crazy that guy got canceled? Yeah, man, that's up. True. Also, women are crazy. LOL. Absolutely, man. Like, that's boring to me. I don't want to do that. That's not intellectually challenging. It's not the type of energy I want to put out in the world. And I wouldn't even feel like I have any self-respect to let myself get pushed so much by people that are crazy on my side.
The energy that you want to put out because it feels good to you is only possible until you're not banned from every single platform. And you've been banned out of 2 of the most major platforms.
Yeah, I agree. Side. So there's a fundamental underlying belief that I have, and if I'm wrong, then I'll just be destroyed. Then you're torn asunder, right? What I believe is,
when are you going to decide that you're wrong? Because I think let me finish. Everything that's happening so far, isn't that enough to kind of prove my point? I've been talking a lot about how freedom of speech is dead, how they're trying to silence this. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about people. They just want to take away as much power as possible. They want to ultimately have as much control. They don't want us to speak. They're afraid of this type of content. And I think that playing our panel in the Senate committee, the head of the Homeland Security played it and said that this is a threat. That proves my point. One, that they're watching. Two, that they don't want freedom of speech. Three, that there's a certain ideology that they're actively trying to silence. Because the liberal people, the people trying to deplatform, the fucking soy boys saying ban Sneako, they never say that that's a problem. There's never a senator who's going to go play that clip and say that this is bad for freedom of speech. They don't care. They are clearly pushing one specific agenda. That dude is a Democrat who's saying that I'm a threat.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, right? There are times in history where it seems to be the case that there are just like a couple of important people who make the decisions necessary to point the needle in a direction that allows other people eventually to follow a path that they would consider like good or righteous, right? I don't know what is like too much for me. Like I make enough money that like if I get pushed out of everything and I have to retire, I can do it. That would suck, but I can do it. But like I feel like if I'm not going to be the type of person to say, hey, hold on, I think that freedom of speech can work. I think that you can fight against people like this without being crazy, without becoming reactionary. If I'm not the type of person that can do it, but that's what I want to see in the world, like, who am I ever expecting to stand up and put that type of like energy out there? If it's not going to be me, it's not going to be anybody else.
You're prioritizing yourself. You're talking about retirement, and you're talking about what you want to do. Aren't you prioritizing yourself over the truth?
No,
like,
it's the exact opposite. What you want me to prioritize is my lifestyle. You want me to say like, okay, well, wouldn't it suck if you got deplatformed everything? Yeah, it kind of would. Okay, well then why don't you just like sell and become a reactionary? I don't want to sell and become a reactionary.
I'm not saying become a reactionary. I'm saying that what do you think your ultimate goal is with your stream? You say
my ultimate goal is that I believe in liberal principles. I think you can have challenging
over the truth. So you're a liberal before a truth.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. When I say liberal, I mean capital L liberal, as in like freedom of speech, capitalism, right to own property, these types of things. Liberal with a capital L, not like liberal versus conservative, but like liberal. Like everybody in the United States is generally a liberal. We believe in like these laissez-faire capitalism and these rights that are protected by the government for freedom of expression, right? I believe in that. That's an important thing to me. And I think that the most important time to stand up for those beliefs is when it's the most challenging time to do so. That's what I believe. So if I were to cuck out now and say like, okay, guys, things are pretty scary right now, so we're just going to talk to like red pillars and like kind of like move away from these like scary people and blah 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 blah. And also like I don't think that like freedom of speech and all that. Like I don't know if I believe in this hardcore right now. I'm just going to like change my beliefs to roll with this group of people.
I can't. About your answer to my question. I'm asking like, what's your ultimate goal with your stream? It's simple.
My goal is to show that there's a set of principles that I believe in. There's a way that you can live your lifestyle to adhere to those principles, and that's what I plan on doing.
So you're set in stone with your beliefs. You can't change your mind.
I mean, I can change my mind. I'll change my mind if there's like something that changes my mind or something. Like, what am I not changing my mind on?
You're saying that your ultimate goal is to talk about what you believe in already.
Yeah.
Right.
And to show that you can do that without being like that.
See, your idea of the red pill is that it's like toxic masculinity, manosphere content, like crazy conspiracy theories. But the idea of the red pill is just the truth. Is uncovering the truth. So it's not something you could ever fully find.
Here's a question.
My ultimate motivation is to try to find the truth. And if you already are set in stone completely about what you believe in and you can't adapt past that, then you're not going to find the truth. You already think you're right.
Everybody's goal is to quote unquote find the truth. That's what everybody says. You're not.
So what you didn't? That's not what you said. You said it's to say.
No, but I'm saying nobody's gonna say like, oh yeah, like I don't look for the truth. Everybody thinks they're looking for the truth. Nothing insightful or.
I don't think that's true.
You think most people don't think they believe in the truth?
I don't think that they try to seek it. I think they say stuff like what you said, like I want to say what I believe in.
No, most people think that they're on the right side of history, that they're on the right side of the truth and everything. Most people believe that.
No, most liberals say that they have my truth.
Yeah, well, which is the same shit, right?
No, not really, because I don't know everything yet. Actively choosing the red pill as an ideology means that you're constantly seeking it. You're constantly taking what the world is presenting you and letting your ideology change. Like when I see the stream getting played in front of the Senate, I'm like, okay, they're watching right now. They are afraid of this ideology. Maybe I'm getting somewhere if the people that control everything in our lives thinks that I'm a threat.
Okay, I don't know what this has to do with like my truth. Do you understand that do you understand that there are multiple people that believe totally different things that all think that they believe in the truth, right?
Yeah. I
So
guess,
just saying that like I'm looking for the truth.
Maybe you should realign and reassess what you think the red pill is.
No, it's not about. I don't.
Because my point is that I had a feeling you were gonna already say this, that it wasn't gonna affect you. Getting played in front of the Senate had no change in your ideology. You already believe in this stuff. You're a liberal. It's not gonna change. Even the fact that they played it in the Senate.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a big deal to be played in front of like a Senate Judiciary Committee or whatever. Like there's a
How
ton
is
of
that
shit.
not a big
Because there's a
deal?
ton of shit that gets played in there that nothing ever comes.
Okay,
of.
but
Nobody goes
did you
away.
hear what he said?
I haven't listened to it yet, but I imagine we will. Right?
Okay. How did you not even listen to that? You were playing Dungeons and Dragons instead of listening to the Senate talk about you?
No, I was playing Factorio. Chill, dude. Damn.
Factorio. I can't believe.
Have you ever
you're
heard?
my political streamer?
Have you ever heard of the term? Have you ever heard of the term tautology?
What's that?
It's kind of like saying something is a definition, right? So when people say like I believe in the truth, right? That sentence to some people
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
When people say they're searching for the truth or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's kind of like saying I believe that things that are good, or I believe that things that are right. It's an empty statement because at the end of the
No, it's
day,
not.
everybody believes that they're searching for the truth. Everybody believes that the things they're looking for.
No, people believe what you said. You said I want to talk. You said your ultimate purpose with your streaming is to talk about what you believe in. It's to spread your ideology and your beliefs. I'm saying
Sure,
I
but wait,
don't
hold
know
on.
everything,
Wait, what do you-
And I'm actively trying to seek it.
Part of that
I'm
statement
not-
has to do with like arriving at things that are true. That's a big tenet of liberalism is that like the things that we determine are true are done like democratically as a society. It's not handed down authoritarianly from the government, right? Like a socialist or like a fascist might say. Like truths come from the government. We have no right investigating those on our own. We're going to rely on either a deacon or a a monarch or some shit for that, right? I don't think that anything that I'm talking about is like incongruent or incompatible with like searching for truth. I'm just saying that I just want you to understand that like when you say that statement,
what
when you
would
say that
happen
when you
if
say
you
the
changed your
statement like
mind?
I'm looking for truth, that doesn't mean anything. Everybody thinks they're looking for truth.
No, they don't, because you don't. You think you already know the truth.
No,
You said that you
I'm
wanna spread your
constantly. What are you
ideology.
talking, bro? I read more
Okay.
studies in like 1 month than you've read your whole life. How do you think I
Okay.
already know the truth? Like, what do you
Well,
mean?
Okay, you read a lot of studies, nerd. But what would you have to see to change your mind? You didn't even watch the Senate talk about you.
To
Talking about all the
wait, to
studies
change
you
my
read
mind about what in particular? My whole ideology or about the Senate hearing or whatever?
about the liberal thing about how blue pill is good.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't frame my whole life through blue
trust-
pill, red pill. My political beliefs are more complicated than
Let
blue
me
pill, red
explain
pill.
before you get triggered.
Okay.
You trusting the government, you thinking that the government doesn't actually it is all the parts of a car and that they care about us and that there's not people behind the scenes who ultimately control everything because they have the most amount of money, that the people with the most amount of power go on islands and touch kids and eat children and do sacrificial rituals. That's who controls the world. Those people, you think that everything is good in place and that our vote matters and that all the checks and balances and everything. I'm saying what would you have to see to wake you up and be like, oh, okay, maybe this is a bunch of bullshit. Maybe this democratic ideology is brainwashing to keep us weaker.
Everything that you just talked about are all very complicated sets of beliefs that have an intersection with a lot of different underlying ideologies. When you ask me what would it take to change your mind, that's a really good question to ask about a particular thing, but like you're asking about like my worldview of like 20 different things. If you want to talk about a particular thing, we can talk about that, but there's not like one fucking video or one fucking sentence that's going to change my whole mind on every single thing I believe in.
Nothing could wake you up.
No,
even
hold
if
on.
they-
Wait. Hold on. No, wait. I gotta be more specific now because you're misunderstanding. Okay. If you want to ask me, for instance, what would it take for you to understand that like our votes don't mean anything, right? That's a good question. Then I would say, oh, okay. Well, here's a question. Could you show me some idea that the majority of America fundamentally agrees with, like that they feel really strongly about, that for some reason we can't pass through Congress, we can't get any traction on this? Something like that would show, wow, even though all of the American people want a particular thing, we can't do it because of something like lobbying or corporate interests interfering. That would be like one way that could show like, oh, okay, well maybe something is broken about our democratic system. That would be one example. But that's a much harder thing to answer than just like, well, look at Alex Jones' show. He talks about this thing, and now I believe that like the whole deep state. It's like that's like yeah. What's going to convince me is you're going to have like some hard data or some an actual answer to a challenging question,
Okay,
not
I
just
wanna
like
watch this. I
not just
wanna
like a
play
video
it.
about the Bohemian Grove or something, right?
Okay, it's not the video. I'm playing literally them the Senate reacting to our conversation.
Okay.
Let me try to find it. I can't believe you didn't watch this, bro. You just like overlook that. And you're a political streamer. You don't watch politicians talk about you.
I'm a drama streamer right now. Okay.
Yeah, well. What the hell was it called, chat? Senate committee.
Somebody link my Fuentes talking about us or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Twitter, but yeah, RIP.
Somebody link in chat. Link of the video.
I found it. So I don't know what happened to Myron. Myron flaked. He's talking about how Trump's gonna get indicted.
Oh shit! I haven't actually been following anything. Is Trump? Are there indictments coming for Trump, guys? Is that confirmed?
That's not confirmed, but that's his speculation. Okay.
Now you're gonna redo this whole thing? Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna watch stream here.
I want to make sure we get everything. I'm gonna start it. It might take it's a 7-hour hearing, but
We'll just probably go to our part, right?
yeah, I know. You have to watch and dissect all this and cross-reference it like you did with the 9/11 shit.
If there's enough there, yeah.
These are users already on the fringe. And all
Yeah, this is called Watch Live Senate Committee Hearing on Social Media's Impact on Homeland Security. This panel right now, and you know, Destiny, they're watching this right now. Say hi to Hillary. Give her a wave.
No one important is watching our shit right now, I promise.
Oh, yeah? The senators aren't important?
The senators? I bet this is probably like the first time they've even fucking seen this. This is all being in my staffers,
There's one
dude.
watching right now. There's a government staffer.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, staffers maybe. Yeah, staffers. Congress is ran by staffers. The actual people themselves are too busy calling people to fundraise and like doing the important shit. The important shit is really what the staffers are doing, but go ahead.
Well, if you say something actually fire, then they're going to clip this up and watch it later, too. So give Hillary a wave.
What's up, Hill Dog? I hope you run again. I'll vote for you, my queen.
Ew!
I would, too.
alter how people view the world. Conspiracies like QAnon and Stop the Steal.
Oh, shit. They're slowing down your connection right now.
See, that's what you get for fucking me saying
Hateful
Wait,
ideologies.
pause it for a second. Let
white
it catch up, okay?
All right.
Department of Homeland Security is trying to fuck you.
Should I add Tristan Tate to the call?
You want to go for it. I'm probably going to fight with him a lot, so I don't want to fuck your relationships up. So be careful.
No, fight with him. But if I can't red pill you, then probably he can.
Okay.
No, he's doing his own thing right now.
Okay.
He's saying make sure nothing gets out of context. They've been warning me. They've been like, you got to play it careful. And it's too bad. Yo, chat, sorry for... I bet he's not going to come on right now. I don't even want to... Should I ask him? Nah, I don't want to be clingy. All right, just let me play.
Supremacy and anti-Semitism, and so many more examples of harmful content pollute your platforms.
You want to share it?
This
Do I want to what?
Can you share the screen instead? Or is it just...
I'm listening to you. I'm watching you, dude.
It's lagging or whatever.
Well,
Fuck it.
just keep it on.
extremist content can spread like wildfire.
They're calling it extremist content.
It is. What we're talking about is pretty extreme.
Yeah, isn't extremist content like Al-Qaeda?
That's pretty extreme, too. Do you think extremist content is only Al-Qaeda?
Me on Discord, me and you on Discord, this is extremist content?
Aren't we talking about, like, Fuentes' views on, like, fucking race realism or some shit right now? Isn't that what this is about? That's pretty extreme.
Who said race realism?
I don't know. Isn't that... that's what I'm guessing, because isn't this cut from a Fuentes conversation? Isn't that where this is coming from?
Yeah, it was me with Fuentes on.
Okay, so it might be extremist. I don't know. We'll listen to it. Or is he talking about, like, Jewish people?
Amplified by the
sorry.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Well, okay, well, then that is extremist content. What the fuck?
Panels, bro. Fuck it, bro. It's only extremist if they don't like it.
No, it's extremist because by definition it represents an extreme fringe on the political spectrum. Not many people...
Okay, but why is it not extreme that they want to turn this off? Why is it not extreme that deplatforming is regular? Why is it not extreme that the Constitution is dissolving and people like me and you care more about freedom of speech than the fucking feds? Than literal
Because that's,
senators?
unfortunately, today, that's not an extremist opinion. That just seems to be what a lot of people agree with.
So you using that word extreme is kind of... It's diluted. It doesn't mean anything anymore. What's extreme is that the basic rights that built this country are going away, and this is normal. Maybe this isn't extreme. Maybe we're normal, and maybe they're the extreme ones.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. We're just talking about, like, what is out of the norm for beliefs. I think that's generally what extremist means, right? Like, when the United States was founded, it was an extreme idea to have such an unbelievably segmented government with so many, like, abilities for the government to cockblock itself. That was considered, like, an extreme thing. Right?
You know what they're trying to do when they use words like extremist? You know what they're trying to, like when the senator picks that word, you know what he's trying to do, right?
Yeah, of course.
He's trying to scare people and trying to paint it in the same light as
yeah, the idea is we need to get rid of it if it's extreme. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
So stop, you try to justify everything.
I'm not justifying, hold on, Jesus. I'm not justifying anything. I'm just trying to make sure we're using the same fucking words. You're saying like, is this extremist? Yeah, of course it's extremist. Listen, this is where you're making the error because you're getting too heated, okay? You're trying to make this argument like, oh, well, it's not even extremist. No, bullshit. Not only is your argument wrong because it is extremist, it's bad because the point of the First Amendment in the United States is to protect extremist content. We should be able to say, yes, it is extremist. Yeah, it is alarming. And yes, we should be able to discuss it. That's the point of the United States. Not to try to pretend that things aren't extremist, but to say, yeah, they are extremist and we can protect it at the same time. That's the point. Sorry.
No, my point is that most people are bots and they don't say anything.
You're not responding to anything I'm saying. You're a bot. That was a bot. You just read a bot script. You just did a bot script to me.
Jesse, I didn't even finish my point.
Because you're doing a bot script. Most people are bots. That's not responding to anything I'm saying.
Let me finish my point.
Watch out, you're short-circuiting.
Shut the fuck up. Everything is extremist if you're not saying the basic level shit that everybody else is saying. So if you have a modicum of truth, if you talk about something about the issues that are going on, if you talk about what's going on behind the scenes, then you're an extremist. It's not extreme, it's not crazy. Maybe everyone else is so surface level that if you go past it, then they get scared and triggered.
Sure, that might be the case, but that's still, I mean, like, definitionally, it would be like extremist content. Like, people would say that you're like way outside the political norm.
Yeah, but you're going past my point. When I'm trying to call out them saying extremist content, you're like, well, it's kind of extreme. I'm like, no, this is the fucking chairman of Homeland Security, and he's using that word that he also uses for Al-Qaeda.
Bro, if we have Fuentes on saying shit like Jewish people are running the fucking government, of course that's an extremist statement. That's not.
It's not just Fuentes. You said that we're talking about extremist shit right now. Now you're gonna say it's Fuentes? You just said it's us.
No, we are talking about extremist stuff, not because we're talking about extremist stuff. We're talking about a thing that's happening that's extremist. Right now, we're not having an extremist conversation, but we're talking about an extremist thing where the extremist thing is the panel that we were on, where we were actually talking about extremist things. Do you understand?
Do you think this Senator Peters, chairman of the Homeland Security, thinks that I'm an extremist?
Probably, yes.
Okay. Move on now.
That's a different question than what we were talking about, though.
No, it's not, because you keep saying it's just Nick Fuentes when I'm trying to point out that this guy thinks I'm an extremist too.
He
probably thinks you're an extremist. That's why you got banned on Twitter and Twitch.
That's not why I got banned on Twitter and Twitch, okay? Listen, he might think we're an extremist, but that's a fundamentally different question than is this extremist content? As in, there's probably things that you talk about where it isn't extremist content, but he might still think you're an extremist. Nick Fuentes could come on and talk about how he thinks that, like, our vote isn't counting as much as it should. He might be an extremist, but that's not an extremist statement or extremist content.
My point is that you should be a little bit alarmed that this guy's labeling us as extremists, and he probably thinks now the Senate thinks that you're an extremist. That's the point I'm trying to get at. And you're
I think that's bad, but these issues are way more far-reaching and have been a problem for a long time. I don't care about this.
If you think that's bad, how come you're not talking about it at all? And how come you just?
I do talk about it. What are you talking about? That's
you haven't talked about it. You haven't even watched this yet. Oh, you're so quick to like.
I haven't
talk about the government.
I haven't talked about this particular video because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But the whole point,
it does. It's the Senate, Destiny!
Bro, the biggest part of my content recently has been talking about how we should be able to have extremist conversations. It's why I talk to you so much on stream. It's why I talk to Nick Fuentes so much, because I don't believe in the idea that just because we might think somebody has extreme views, and I think you do have some extreme views, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna write your whole character off and not have that conversation. It's like probably the central thing that I've been talking about on my stream for the past like 6 months. So just because I'm not fixating on one conversation in Congress doesn't mean that I'm quote unquote not talking about it. That's not true.
You just said you think it's bad that they're labeling you an extremist, and I haven't heard you talk about that once yet. You're just like, well, that's just government staffers watching this. You don't even care.
Because this is like a drop in the bucket compared to like all of the huge problems relating to freedom of speech in our society right now. This particular thing.
This is a drop in the bucket?
Yes.
The chairman of Homeland Security saying that this is dangerous is a drop in the bucket?
Yes.
This is serious to me.
Okay,
is this not fucking serious?
That's great that that's serious to you, okay? What's serious to me...
What do you think is serious?
What I think is serious is that all of the social media platforms seem to work in tandem to enforce these kind of arbitrary rules on things relating to hate speech that can result in some people being almost permanently deleted from the internet, like Andrew Tate for no real reason, or fucking Donald Trump simultaneously off of every platform. Those are the types of movements that scare me. I don't give a fuck about some random congressional shit. Not to say that's not funny to watch, or we can watch it, or that's entertaining, but like these are the huge problems that I think that are kind of like shaking the earth right now in terms of freedom of speech in the United States. Is how like large social media platforms are working in tandem to enforce certain speech policies. Right. Those are the things that like are worrying to me.
And if you think that that's the biggest issue, you realize that them talking about this is putting us in that same bucket. Just like
I'm already in that bucket. You're in that bucket too.
Right. So why are you not changing up your ideology now? If the government is labeling you an extremist, if you're going to get silenced pretty soon, probably if they follow what you're talking about, Trump, Alex Jones, and now us, extremist Fuentes, why are you still just gaming and not watching this stuff? And why are you not like waking up to the fact that the government is against freedom of speech? The government doesn't care about the Constitution, Destiny, and you still trust them? You still say hill dog? They don't even care about the fucking Constitution.
Because the issue, and this is going to be the next part of your evolution. I'm giving you a sneak peek, okay? When you come out of your egg, okay? The truth is that you're absolutely right. the government doesn't give a fuck about freedom of speech, but it's not for the reason that you think. You think the government doesn't care about freedom of speech because the government has some insidious plan to keep the citizens like not informed on all the issues that are true, blah, blah, blah. The reality is most Americans don't give a fuck about freedom of speech. The reality is that most Americans pick and choose their particular beliefs based on whatever supports their particular ideology at the time. If there is an American that super disagrees with what you're talking about, he will do whatever the fuck he can to silence you. I've seen conservatives do it. Cernovich did it to people when he, who did he get? James Gunn, the fucking director for Guardians of the Galaxy, got kicked off Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because Cernovich, a conservative, came out and tried to blow him up over tweets from like 15 fucking years ago. Conservatives do this shit all the time. Trump talked about expanding libel laws so that he could sue the fucking media for writing bad stories about him. Progressives do it all the time, trying to ban people off social media. Everybody wants to play fast and loose when it comes to our rights in the United States. That's the true red pill or black pill. It's not the idea that the government is doing it secretly.
People are emotional. People make mistakes and people get triggered and stuff like that. Even it happened to Myron before. Fresh and Fit put a bunch of copyright strikes on channels that did not deserve it because they were angry about what it says. But they can admit that that's not what they're supposed to do. When Trump wants to sue those companies for saying shit about him, he probably knows that he's not supposed to do that because we're emotional sometimes when you get that much heat. But ultimately, yes, most Americans do care about freedom of speech. How are you going to speak for everybody and say that the fucking First Amendment in the Constitution people don't care about? Isn't that what makes this country different than China? That's why we laugh at all the countries that are communist. That's completely against everything American.
We're not different as people, right? That's the issue, is that people, biologically, we're all working with the same shit at the end of the day, unless you're a race realist, okay? What's supposed to make us different, what's supposed to keep us different are our institutions. That's what's supposed to safeguard the beliefs that we think are foundational to what it means to be an American. But the problem is if people change their minds long enough, those institutions will change. They will crumble, and over time, they're going to reflect the beliefs of newer Americans that think like, freedom of speech, which is kind of the direction that we're headed in. And I truly believe that is the direction that we're headed in, because conservatives don't give a about freedom of speech. You're delusional if you think that's the case.
Not true.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, after she got swatted from Kiwi Farms, is literally saying shit like these websites shouldn't exist. We should take them down. I gave you the Cernovich James Gunn example earlier. I gave you President Donald Trump, who was literally talking about trying to sue media companies out of existence because he didn't like what they were publishing about them. The idea that conservatives believe in freedom of speech is absolute bullshit. They just do it when it's convenient to them. Look at Donald Trump when he was running for president. Conservatives were celebrating him when he was saying, I want to jail Americans that burn the American flag. Are you kidding me? It's one of the most important freedom of speeches we have in the United States.
Was he trying to sue media companies that were lying about him, or was he trying?
He says lying about him. He just wants to sue. He wants to sue people that write mean things about him. But look at you now. You're even making excuses for Trump. Do you think the president of the United States should be talking about suing media companies? That's fucking wild.
If it's deserved, if they were lying on his name, if they're posting false stories, then that's a proper use of suing.
Yeah, but the issue is, remember what we said at the beginning of this conversation? Everybody thinks they're pursuing truth. Everybody thinks that when you say something mean about them, you're lying. True. That is true.
Those socialists that are actively trying to get you canceled and who are mass supporting me, they know damn well they're not for freedom of speech. If they post a video called YouTube should ban Sneako, there's not one part of them that thinks that they're a truth seeker. They know that.
I don't believe that's the case. They have reasons for why they do what they do.
Then why the fuck can they not get in a debate? Why are you the only lib bot who can get in a call with me?
Because they've got their own bullshit ideology to justify how they actually are pro freedom of speech.
I don't think they care about freedom of speech. I think they are an extremist of you, like what you think.
Okay, so fuck it.
I'm friendly.
Sure. I'll run it down right now for you, okay? Here, ready? 10 seconds, okay? There's something called the paradox of intolerance. Or the paradox of tolerance. What they're gonna say is, well, actually, we care about freedom of speech more than you care about freedom of speech. In a truly tolerant society, if you're tolerant of people that are intolerant, eventually they're gonna play on that. They're gonna abuse your tolerance in order for them to take over and then execute all the people that they disagree with. So they understand that in order to have a truly tolerant society, they have to get rid of people that they perceive as being intolerant. That's why they're intolerant of people like far-right people, Nazis, super conservatives or whatever, or Trumples. Yeah, people like me, yes.
And you're not, no part of you is radicalized that the people on your side are trying to get
because people on the right do it too. People in Florida, look at the DeSantis bill that everybody passed, that everybody was so excited about. Oh my God, we can't bring up gay or whatever in fucking classrooms. That we're going to be we're going to be getting rid of gay authors because we're not sure if that's going to be too much for children. Conservatives do it again on the other end too. We're scared of trans people talking to our kids because they're all groomers. Not every trans kid or trans person wants to groom your child. That's insane. People do it everywhere. Nobody believes in this shit. Nobody actually believes in this shit. At the end of the day, there are some, I do, and that's why I fight for what I do. That's why I don't want to change my beliefs and pretend that people on the right care about freedom of speech more than people on the left do. Yeah, people on the left today have more of the cultural power, but back in the days when conservatives ran shit, they didn't want to see gay people or trans people in movies or on TV. They talk all the time about how that is evil and corrupting society. Back then, they would try to cancel you if you were a guy that wore an earring and you weren't black.
Right.
I love
But you listed the people. You listed people who are getting banned and silenced off every social media platform right now. What do they believe in? Tate, Alex Jones, Donald Trump, Nick Fuentes. What side are they on?
They believe in freedom of speech right now because it benefits them. I think they believe in freedom of speech. But man, dude, back when these guys had more power online, I noticed this. That's what's caused me to think about this a lot.
Because I'm talking about the current issues right now. What lib who thinks like you? What Hillary supporter is getting banned on social media? What socialist?
Not many of them, but they don't need freedom of speech. They have the majority power. This is why freedom of speech is so important. It's because it's supposed to protect the minority opinion. Obviously, people in the minority are more in favor of freedom of speech than people in the majority. That's why back 10, 15, 20 years ago, queer communities and everything were way more in favor of freedom of speech. Of course. They were talking about how important that shit was. But like,
so if the truth lies somewhere in the middle and you're saying that they have majority power, these socialist fucking feelings over facts people, these liberal bots, if they have all the control right now and you're actively trying to seek the truth, then why aren't you trying to balance it out? Why are you still saying that you're on their side?
I'm not on a side. Look, you already said earlier, you said this 20 times. I'm not talking about a side. And then you keep saying, are you on their side? I'm not on their side. I'm on my side.
You're not on their side. You call yourself a liberal. You follow liberal ideologies.
Because I have liberal ideologies. I don't know if
you're on their side.
Okay, if that's how, in your world, if that's how your brain organizes things.
It's not my world. Don't try to patronize me. Is that not true? Are you not on their side? Yes or no?
Do you agree with every single thing that Myron says? Do you agree with every single thing that Andrew Tate says?
No,
of course not.
I'm on their side.
Okay, I'm roughly on the side of like progressive left-leaning ideas. That's roughly true, but I don't agree with all the deplatforming shit. I don't agree with like the incessant attacks on our freedom of speech. But like,
why aren't you spending more time and energy in trying to fix that?
I do. That's my whole platform. That's what I do. That's why I'm fucking banned from Twitch. I was streaming that platform for 12 years. And I got banned because I felt strongly about the trans women competing against cis women in sports. I didn't think that was a good thing.
All right, let's keep watching this. I forgot.
Okay.
Other tools your teams build to increase your company's audiences and profits. Extremists use the products you design to recruit and radicalize followers and plot attacks, including the January 6th attack on the Capitol, our democracy, and our nation. There's no question that there is a relationship between social media amplification of this extremist content and the rise we have seen in hate crimes and domestic terrorist attacks that mark.
There we go. He's equating this content, extremist content, which you established that we're extremists. He's saying that there's a rise on domestic terrorist attacks because of this content.
That might be true though. Again, hold on. This is where you have to take the adult pill.
How is that true?
Let me know when you're done and I'll tell you how it's true. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let me tell you how it's true.
Tell me what terrorist attacks I've inspired. Tell me what terrorist attacks you've inspired.
Okay. So what happens is if you believe in freedom of speech, okay, you have to be an adult and you have to accept that there are consequences to your freedom of speech. The First Amendment is not fucking free. And if you pretend that it is, you don't have the inclination to learn about it or the maturity to grapple with the massive and awesome consequences of that freedom, right? When we have the freedom to speak how we want, you also have to accept that there's a trade-off to that. There are going to be extremist attacks that are inspired. Arguably, some of the people, fucking look at the Christchurch shooter. That dude was like rambling off a whole bunch of shit you could find on fucking YouTube. And I'm sure that the Buffalo shooter was probably the same, rambling off a whole bunch of shit that I could find on fucking YouTube or even fucking Tucker Carlson talking about it. But that's okay. You can own that. You can say, yeah, there might be some attacks that are inspired by things by YouTube or by things on TV, but that doesn't mean we should get rid of it. You have to be able to own the consequences of the things you advocate for. Freedom of speech is a really good freedom to defend, but there absolutely are consequences for it. There's nothing wrong with admitting that.
That was our fault. The church, you could blame the church shooter on this content.
I don't know if he released a specific manifesto, but like, yeah, you have to be able to say at the end of the day that there might be people that do extremist things because of things they find online. Okay. Do you think that we have no influence on the people listening to us?
So the senator is trying to hold us accountable for that, saying it's dangerous. Should we be held accountable for when there's a terrorist attack and some dude has an ideology that probably lines up with some shit that we're saying on YouTube? Are we responsible for that?
It maybe, I don't know. We'd have to go case by case. No, it's not. Hold on. It's not a yes or no question. What an unbelievably fucking stupid way to grasp with such an important fucking point, right? If I start going on my stream every day about how dumb it is that women get life for free and they don't have to do shit and they just have to look pretty and no woman is homeless and blah, 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 blah. And eventually I've got a guy that listens to my content for 10 hours a day and he goes out and he starts murdering fucking women that are pretty. I get like an Elliot Rogers in my community and somebody comes up to me and is like, are you responsible for that? Yes or no? I don't know. That's a really complicated question. You have to be able to have a complicated, yes, it is. It's super complicated.
No, you're not responsible for other people's actions. And if you directly tell someone, hey, go shoot up a church, then you're not responsible for it. People get to act on their own volition.
That's
we don't hold
bullshit.
responsibility for all the. What are you talking about? I'm responsible for the 7,000 people watching this. Anything they do.
Yes.
Okay,
Not anything
okay.
they do. No, again, this is a simplistic reduction.
Not anything they do, but when they shoot up a church.
Depends on what you talk about. Depends on the type of energy you're putting out there. But like, you'll say okay, but we know this. On one end, you're gonna tell me people can make their own choices, blah, 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 blah. What do you tell a recovering drug addict? What's the most important thing they can do to recover from drugs? Get rid of your friends that do drugs.
Mine's calling me.
Okay, be careful.
Meditate for a second.
I'll meditate. Jesus. In Christ. Does it really not? Oh, it does auto-wire it. Okay. Pretty soon the train is coming, guys. Yeah, my hair is fucked today. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck.
Let me see. All right, the good thing is you guys can hear me.
True.